All right, Mel, we move on. The next quarterback off the board is Tua Tagovailoa. According to your mock draft, picked at the number 5 spot to the Dolphins. He did release a video working out yesterday. Keep in mind, he was medically cleared a few weeks ago to do all football activities. So anything about this video, Mel, change things for you?
Encouraging. You love to see it. Happy for Tua. What a great kid he is. He's on the way to be getting back to 100%. We see that. Medical staff's going to be important in the evaluation. It's a shame he had to hit, because if he didn't, we all would have been talking about should it be Tua or should it be Burrow at number 1 for Cincinnati. But the reality is that's the 3rd lower extremity injury. The reality is right now, do you want to trade up to get a quarterback who's iffy with the injury? Then the durability concern. I'm talking about, does Miami want to go from 5 to 3? Dan talked about the first 2 being locked in. 3's not, because that could be the trade spot for somebody to jump into the Lions pick and take Tua. So I think you have to wait and see on that one. At worst, he's at 5 to Miami with that 5th pick. If they don't see a need to move up because of the risk of moving up for a quarterback who is coming off his, like I say, his 3rd significant injury.
Matt, what did you see, or what could you glean, if anything, from that video?
Well, you can learn a lot. I mean, it's just a quick video, but you can see how quick he is. He's very quick twitch. You know, we talk about that. He's got a lot of horsepower. He's a big, strong, physical guy. And so, you know, you hear a lot about the intangibles, all those types of things about Tua. But what you hear from people who see him in person is like, wow, the ball just comes out of his hand effortlessly. And then the other thing that I think is just, you know, you've heard so much about how he's attacked his rehab. You know, how he's attacked 2.5 hours, twice a day. Really just doing everything that he can to get healthy. That's part of playing quarterback in the NFL, is coming back from injuries. So to see him not only on schedule, but to show up that first day, working out there with Trent Dilfer, going through quarterback drills, to see him as healthy as he is and sort of as detail-oriented as he is, you know, that's what they did yesterday. I talked to Trent today, said, what are you doing today? We're going to do naked bootlegs, we're going to do movement plays, we're going to do things on the run, we're going to open it up a little bit more. So just seeing that he's taken each step in this progression leads you to believe that everything that you've heard about him is true.
Well, Matthew, you talk about it. I think it's encouraging that he's working with Trent. There's probably no better person to be working with somebody to kind of try to create game-like situations. I know he's doing that. I think when you look at the situation in terms of the video, you know, Mel has mentioned that this is going to be a medical decision for teams, and it's going to be made by doctors. They're going to say, hey, this is when we think he should be ready. We either do or don't think this will affect the longevity of his career. And so that's really going to be the most important piece. With that being said, it's still important for coaches, decision makers, to see him moving, to see him working when, you know, after the initial injury, all the discussion was about, hey, guys don't heal from this. There's very little blood flow to the hip and all that type of conversation. It's encouraging just for kind of peace of mind and assuredness if you are, in fact, going to draft him because you believe in the type of player, person, leader that he is, that you're at least seeing it happen prior to the draft.
It's important we frame this the right way, right? Like, Tua's injury was 126 days ago, and to Tim's point, there was a lot of negative talk around that injury. 1 month ago today was the combine when he was still walking with a limp. Now this video gets released, and make no mistake about it, like, it wasn't like yesterday was the first day he was doing these drills. He's obviously been ramping up with it, and to release that video, you got to be pretty confident that you're trending in the right direction. And I've said this for a couple months now. The team that drafts Tua it's gonna be a courageous pick, because there are the question marks that Mel has alluded to because of those injuries. And the team that passes on Tua, it's gonna have the same type of courageous decision, because there's gonna be owners watching this and going, you didn't draft Tua, and in 3 years from now he might be an absolute superstar, because the traits are remarkable, like the anticipation, the feathering of throws. I call him the most programmed quarterback we've had come out since Andrew Luck, and that's a difference between like programmed and robotic. Robotic is stiff and kind of just upright, where programmed is very Drew Brees. You go 1, 2, 3, 4 through your progression very quickly, very efficiently, and so the traits are remarkable. I think this is a big deal. If I'm the Redskins or I'm on the Lions, I'm ecstatic about watching this video, strictly because I know teams are going to look at this and go, okay, the questions that we had when this injury happened, they're slowly starting to get checked off. The medical medical reports have all been good. The MRIs have all been good. The video, the movement by him right now looks sudden, to Matt's point, Wendy. So I think this is a great sign for Tua in the top of the draft.
Matt, listen, we've talked a lot about this medical red shirt, so to speak. Tua to the Redskins, is that a possibility in your opinion?
Well, listen, I think there's a lot of teams out there that are looking at this draft saying, hey, we got 4 first-round quarterbacks in this draft. The interesting thing, though, is that 3 of them probably will go in the first 6 picks. Maybe the top 10, but possibly the top 6 picks. So if you want one of these guys as your franchise guy, you're going to have to go get them. And so that's the decision that's got to be made. The challenge is the best player on defense clearly is Chase Young, and he's probably going to go number 2. So if you want one of the quarterbacks, it starts at 3, and Detroit holds that spot, and they're likely to trade it.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.